We love vinyl, Rick. Rick Derringer, oh, this is a very interesting evening.
Good.
To finally meet you in person. You're a legend.
Here I am.
Always have been, always will be. The best of the best. And I just seen what you did here.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you been keeping busy throughout all these years. You know, when you look at the collection of songs that you do with other artists, that's incredible as well. You know, where do you get these offers? You put yourself in, you know, to offer your work and your guitar.
No,
Or do they contact you?
people just contact me when they feel the need, and I go there like a doctor on call.
So Rick, have you played Nova Scotia before? Is this your first time arriving?
We
here?
played either the first or the second Dutch Mason Festival,
Okay.
so it's a return for us. We enjoyed it then, and I'm sure it's going to be a great crowd tonight.
Now Rick, something that's very interesting, you know, is your guitar tone. You've got an incredible guitar tone. What's your secret to it? Do you just grab any amp and it's just going to come out like Rick Derringer? Or is there specific effects you got going on there?
Well, I do things a little different than other people. I have two different amp sounds going on simultaneously.
Okay. Stereo.
Yeah, one of them is pretty much a stock Marshall. I use an old JCM 800 is what I prefer.
Okay.
They were before they had too many knobs. Now they got too many knobs.
Yeah.
But in the old days, the Fender 800 was the first one where they came out with an overdrive section, so they have a gain control. And I use it pretty much, not too much gain on the Marshall. The Marshall is more of the clearer sound of the two. Although none of them, I don't use any of them totally clear. But the Marshall is the more clear one of the two. And then the other one is anything that has a power amp in, because what I'm using is a preamp from a Dumble.
Okay.
Dumble amps, I don't know if you've heard of them. They're legendary amps of the stars. Carlos Santana uses some Dumbles, John Mayer uses some Dumbles, and Stevie Ray used a Dumble toward the end. This is a guy who makes amps. Alexander Dumble is his name, and he makes amps himself. He's made fewer than 200. He charges tons of money for them.
Right.
And I found an amp builder who built me what it is. It's the preamp section of a Dumble amp, the front end of a Dumble amp. And what I do is I plug it, I travel with that, and I plug it into the front end power amp section of any amp that has a power amp in. In this case today we're using a Fender. So what we're using is the preamp section of the Dumble and the power amp of a Fender. It doesn't really matter what kind of amp you use. Power amp sections are pretty much straight ahead on all of them. They're just the amplified. Where they get their personality is from the preamp. So my personality is coming from that Dumble preamp. So the overdrive is his philosophy was you don't necessarily have to have 20 watt for this volume, 30 watt for this volume, 40 watt for this volume, 50 watt for that volume, which is what people felt previously. He said, I can give you a great overdrive at any volume. He has 3 different stages of overdrive in that preamp right away. So I can control my overdrive totally from that preamp section. So what I'm using basically is 2 different type sounds. One is a clearer Marshall sound, and the other one is a Dumble overdriven sound. Then I bring my own cables.
Okay.
I believe in good cables. Both of those amps, I use my own power amp. The electricity, I use my own power cables. They're big fat power cables. I don't know if you saw them coming out of the back of there, but they're big fat power cables. Good power means your guitar is a little more touch sensitive.
Okay.
Right away. The guitar is a little more touch sensitive. That's what that does. People go to the audience, hear that. I don't care if the audience hears it. I feel it.
Right.
So it makes my guitar more touch sensitive. So I have big power cables. I travel with all solid silver core cabling in my whole rig. I bring my own cables. They supply the amps, I bring my own cables. The guitar cables, solid silver core, all the little patch cables in the pedal board are solid silver core. Even my speaker cables, I bring speaker cables from the power amp to the speaker. Those are all solid silver core, big fat solid silver core cables. So that's basically it. I bring my
and your power source as well.
Yeah, I bring my pedal board, I bring my cables, I bring my Dumble front end, and that's it. That's what I bring. They supply the power amps and the stuff that's pretty much interchangeable from show to show. I bring the stuff that's important to me.
Well, that's very interesting. Not much guitar players would say all that, you know, and go through that effort, you know, and that's intriguing, you know, because I'm a guitar player and I play with my own chord as well, you know, even though it's a little bit lower budget, I would say. But another thing too is, you know, your technique when you're playing a solo. Like, is it really true you play it on Kiss Exciter?
Yes.
Now that solo at the end, if that is you, that is incredible. The technique you're using, that, if you recall it.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and listen to it.
But it's an incredible technique that you're using, and there's other stuff that you're doing. Like, let's say throughout the years with Rock and Roll Gucci Coup, that solo you do.
Yeah.
You got some interesting.
Which we will do tonight.
Of course. And when did you discover, you know, that I can play very well? You know.
Well, people on some level want to discount this, but I was blessed by God with the ability to play guitar. People play guitar, they start playing and they play for years, they take lessons, they study with different teachers and stuff, and they never have the ability that I had when I picked it up at 9 years old. 9 years old I started playing the guitar, and my uncle showed me stuff. He was a guitarist. There was a local guy in town who played guitar. He was a guitarist. They showed me things immediately within the first day of getting my guitar. What I didn't understand was how easily I took to these things, how my brain just absorbed them instantly, and how I could play them instantly, and how unusual that was. I didn't know that. So I didn't know the abilities that I was given. I just knew that it was fun and that I loved doing it. But in retrospect, I look at other people and how they work at it and stuff. And I just now know that God really blessed me with the ability to play the guitar. He gave me that talent. I owe him those thanks for that talent that he gave me. As you get older, you start to lose some of your flexibility and stuff. Speed. I found the speed doesn't come from this hand. Speed comes from this arm being able to move up and down. That arm doesn't move as fast as you get older. So I've become more like George Foreman. You know, as a boxer, he may not have had some of the flexibility and speed as he got older, but he would wait till the moment when he could deliver that that big old final blow, which he could still do at his old age, still can today. So in some ways I've learned to save what I can do for the right moments, because you can't do it. You just, you know, there comes a time when your body doesn't work the same as it did when it was young. So, and I've come to that wall. I just had my 67th birthday the other day, a couple days ago, and we work hard. We got to play. You got to play. One of the big secrets is you got to keep doing it. Use it or lose it. And so we play as often as we can.
Another thing, you're releasing albums quite often now.
Yeah, you go to rickderringer.com, you can see things that we do. I do them on and on. Record companies don't necessarily have the ability to do what they once did. You can release things on you know, Amazon and iTunes and those kind of places at will now. Anybody can release their own stuff that way. I do. People want to hear what we're doing, they go to rickderringer.com and you can get all of our stuff if you want to buy it there, autographed. I autograph everything. And that's one of the kind of secrets. You get it on iTunes and Amazon and all those sources, but they don't come autographed. If you like the stuff that we do and you want to get it personalized, go to rickderringer.com and you can get it for basically the same kind of prices, but they come autographed. And you get whole CDs that way. You don't necessarily buy them one song at a time.
Yeah. And you kept up to date with the internet, and I'm glad to see that.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing very well with Facebook as well.
Yeah.
You know, and you keep active on that level, you know, to let the fans know where you're playing, etc. And another thing, how many dates do you do in a year nowadays?
I don't keep track of them. We try to play as often as we can.
That's pretty good. Well, Rick, super
Thank you.
pleasure to meet you finally.
Thank you for
You're
coming.
My hero.
Keep on rocking.
Thank you.